All right, family. All right. And all right. What's going on this morning? December the 29th, if we got it right, Ryan. It's today, December 29th. You know, your boy be doing so much that, you know, days start to, and can anybody testify to that in the family, right? Days just start to kind of blend in. Before we get started, let me just mute the sound here real quick, right? We forget to do that a lot, family. That sounds brought to you by the good folks of KJ's family, right? Oh man, you know, we have to say this, right? And this was just a surprise. But family, you got to know that there's still good people left in this planet. Can we talk about that one time? Good Lord. There's still some people left that are good in this planet, family. And at some point, for as much as we talk about the full-headed mess that people do, that NASA be doing, that just goes on in life, we got to understand, man, that there are still good people left in this world. And this is why we say, get yourself around them. Get yourself around them. Know and understand them. Because the opposite, family, is, sheesh, right? It's a whole lot of backbiting. There's a whole lot of false witness bearing. There's a whole lot of mess, family, in this world today, right? So with that said, and with this new equipment that we have here, right? Welcome in, family, us, a different view family who believe in, who love after, family. We telling you on everything, you gotta let go of this garbage in this world and love after something else, family, right? Love after who hunger and thirst, search and seek to find that which is a different view, family. Welcome in. Today is movie rating edition. This is movie rating edition, right? We are going to be talking about Avatar: Fire and Ash, family, one time, right? We talking Avatar, right? Still learning some of these little tools and tricks. How many saw that movie? How many liked it? Right? I think what has to be said that we don't like saying, that even though these movies are doing new things, at the same time it's revisiting some of the old. This is the dangers in doing this not live action, just sequels, excuse me. All right. So I know we get upset, right? We get really, really, really upset. I can't believe they did another one of these, and oh my gosh, and why, and like, okay. Again, I always accredit this to number one, people's imagination is broken. I really do have to admit that. I think we have lived in mass assimilation for so long, family, that we forgot how to use that thing, right? And at the same time, it's funny, I was in a conversation before we get into talking about Avatar. I was in a conversation with a couple folks on TikTok, and it is what it is. I don't even trip, because for me personally, to each their own. Number one, right? Number two, again, to each their own. And under that premise, we got into the topic of Swerve Strickland's music, right? And we haven't gotten into. I haven't seen the pay-per-view, so I can't really fully comment on it yet. But when I do, you know, we're going to see some good things. I did see some clips where you had mixed tag matching and where some of the women were fighting the men. Now, family, we can go back and forth on whether a woman can't square up with a man. We're going to leave that alone, right? And we're just going to allow public experience to speak on that. Okay. Know this without question. Do not underestimate anybody. Family, do you hear what? Do you hear me one time? We don't underestimate anybody. Why would we do that? Everybody is capable of doing anything at any time, family. That's how we're made as people. We can continue to kind of, again, we talked about the law of gender, right? The last time that we had spoken. Understand this thing goes all kinds of ways. Okay. And we discredit, unfortunately, to our detriment, not our betterment. So again, with that said, it was kind of cool to see that element in wrestling. I like seeing that element, you know. I'm trying to think here. Lost a little train of thought. The clips from the pay-per-view that I saw were okay, you know. MJF won the world title. Ooh-wee, right? We'll see how AEW's resident heel character can can do from Long Island, right? The most magical place on the earth. Anyway, there could be a little bit of bias in me saying that, but that's all right. At the end of the day, family, you know, we'll see how it goes, what they do, the creative side of this between wrestling and MJF goes. And again, back into this conversation with Couple Cats on TikTok, is just Swerve's music, family. I again, we're talking about AEW's first black, okay, so-called black, because again, we know black is a distinction that was put there that was not there before. It was just tribes of people, and they all lumped them together, called them black, right? Again, the skin tone looks dark, close to black, but when you look at the color black, family, it ain't black, right? Again, there are some that look very close, but there's a bunch of us out here who are brown. Some of us dark mahogany, right? That dark chocolate, you know what I'm talking about? Some of us are milk chocolate color, okay? I apologize, right, for those who have an issue with the mixing, right? Because we have, unfortunately, people in the camp, in the village, in the town, in the house, right, that have an issue with people mixing. We'll just say it that way, right? But that's what happens. Again, if it happens in nature, it's going to happen in life. If we love each other, we're going to stand for each other, and we keep it moving, right? We understand Massa has many tricks in his or her tool bag, because we're not discrediting that women did not have their hand in this, but we are saying that women are a patsy for males. That's the environment we live in, family. That's the environment that we live in that has been created. It's a patriarchal thing. It's a male-driven thing. So the women going to be on the bottom. You know, I had seen a thing here. And again, a lot of this stuff you see in this movie, Avatar: Fire and Ash. It's kind of like the woman is there while Strong leading her pack, right? This is this woman that you see in the cover images and such, that has the like the spiked fan type of bone or feather structure, whatever, some tribal thing that they're trying to portray from back then. Yeah, that I forgot her name in the movie, but she's a patsy, family. Did anybody know about patsies in our? See, I've said this before, and that movie kind of portrays it very well. Massa need a good patsy, family. Don't you know that? Massa can't do this on his own. Can't do it on his own. Needs a good patsy. This is why in the list that we keep referencing of this slave class, family, believe it, that the so-called white women, the poor, again, we're talking poor white folks. I'm not, and again, it's so-called because again, that distinction, white was not there. The light to pale skin tones come from somewhere, just like the dark brown and tan skin tone ones. So this pseudo mess they made here in the Americas, creating the United States, now saying white and black is pseudo. Okay? It's not a diss, it's just saying what it is. Now what we have created is this quote unquote white versus non-white, and there is no versus because we're people down here. That is unless we choose this, which is clear that we are choosing this, which is family why I say when going into 2026, it's time that we find people that love us. Family, I'm telling you on everything. Don't you know when you talk about cultural appropriation, when you love somebody, you ain't stealing nothing from what they got. Do you understand that? We share. We share, family. Again, as they say in the church house, since we off Sunday from yesterday, man, devil is a liar. Okay? Again, the adversary is a liar. We not, no. There's no truth telling there with them. And I can go further into certain things. And again, this is what you see in this kind of thing. It's almost like there was a scene, and it's a spoiler version, obviously, right? So you know, if right, you know, we're just gonna stop right now to say, if you want to see the movie first, right? Maybe people want to catch that Avengers Doomsday trailer, right? Hey, you know, could we say something to MCU real quick, man? Why we gotta have teaser trailers? Can y'all just could you put together a collage or something? No, why we, you know, oh well, KJ, you know, it's because of social media, this and that. No. Somebody, humans are behind this, family. We, you know, this is what I'm talking about. Somebody needs folks to buy into a thing. People are behind social media, family, even with this AI mess, which again, yeah, I'll leave that alone. When you look at this, family, at the end of the day, like, we got to understand that people are still behind this. This is not, you know, this is lately, this is what this has been with deconstruction, and we get it because there's certain things that need to be looked into, right? And we're just not even going to play games with that, especially from a Christian standpoint, of which I've said I am, right? Because the reason I say it is not to boast I am, right? Unlike Samantha Fullnecki insists there ain't nothing, this ain't nothing really against you per se, but against the mindset where we have Christian bullies out here in the camp, family. Right? Now, some will say, right, who disagree with Christianity, well, KJ, that's just the damn point. That's right? Again, I believe that there's sections to this, or a word used in society is sects. SECTS. No different than there were tribes split up on these lands when Europe came calling. Certain people believe in things and then others don't. Right? That's how it goes. You use things under a banner to make it look like something, but it's not. Kind of like all the tribes that were in Avatar Fire and Ash. Right? The original blue group. Right? Then you get to that aqua teal blue group. Then you get to the red, gray, white looking blue group. And they were less blue, I guess, right? They had more of a weird kind of Doctor Who enemy type of, you know, weird look to them. Especially some of the warrior creatures there with the rounded off dome in their head and all that, you know. But again, this is where this all skin folk ain't kinfolk, family. Don't you know some of these people they're out here for bloodshed. This is for death. This is for violence all day, man. This is Battle World. You know, the MCU is supposed to do that in Secret Wars. We'll see how they make Battle World look. We'll see how it goes. A lot of these things are also rumors. But if you can imagine Battle World in your mind, family, again, this is why we say there's a distinction between the word war. Once you find out the etymology of that word means confusion, then it's more like battle out here. And it's also confusing. Why would the Palestinian and Israeli keep fighting when y'all half brothers? I know we're playing a good game off the script. See, again, script, that's the base of the word, right? It's a script. Again, as Christians will tell you, pre-written before the foundation of the world. We get it right from the heart and mind of God. Okay. See again, family, we're okay accepting different views here. I'm not we're not one of these like everybody is wrong. And again, to talk about Ms. Fulnecke, if y'all don't know who Samantha Fulnecke is, that is an OU student, Oklahoma University, right? Big old college, boomer, Sooner. Never mind, we're gonna leave the Sooner thing alone. At the end of, hey, that land rush cost the people's lands who are already here, by the way. Maybe our fight shouldn't be with the native, it ought to be with Massa, but I digress. At the end of the day, at some point, family, we're not out here professing the glorious truth of the gospel to get transgender teachers or teachers' assistants fired. That's not the point. And I already know the stir I'm gonna cause with this. That's why I'm saying it. Family, there's a faux nature in the camp. That's it. Before you start talking about the Jezebel in the church being sexual impropriety. And a lot of this bleeds over into the Year of the Christian episode. So I'm gonna try to keep this part brief. At the end of the day, family, maybe we need to come away from that, huh? Less of that and more of the truth. Maybe. Maybe not. When it comes to, again, when a question on an essay is asked for you to talk about gender pressures from society, that's not the time for you to whip out your good, we hate transgender folks, because say it loud with your chest. It's okay. Say it. There's certain penalty that comes with it. Say it. The same thing with me. I'm saying certain things here. Don't you know half the Christians will come after me? Christians will come after me. I mean, all people groups will come after me, man. But when do we start telling the truth? Hey, we got descendants, family, of friends of and actual family members from Massa. That's why I call them Massa and friends. I'm not being a jokester saying that. Family, that's what it is. We just put it to a funny kind of thing. You have to be aware that, don't you know they want you off the map, family? That's the point. They use the Bible, whatever it is. Talking about they conquering for Jesus. You again, devil's a lie. It ain't nothing. You ain't seen none of that with Christ nowhere. Nowhere you don't see that. You see that in the Old Testament. Again, that's why we have a conversation about that. And we can have conversations with folks all day long about that. Because again, you got to be telling me that all those folks was on all of the dark-skinned folks that was in the Old Testament at the time, that God is, quote unquote, is telling Abram, right, go take these lands. You got to have a conversation. And again, this kind of mentality is poured over to the Palestinians. But they was right there living with Isaac and them. Family, they was playing with them until they wasn't no more, right? Where have we seen that analogy before? Again, we're using it as an analogy. I understand people get stuck on the actual story. There's some powerful effect here when you use it as an analogy as well. Where else do we see people playing together and then just stop playing all of a sudden? There's a catalyst or something that happens that stops people from playing together. Oh, I know where. Right in the Garden of Eden. This serpent that everybody thinks serpents can talk. I ain't seen no Slytherin events yet. However, right? Shout out Harry Potter and the gang. However, at some point, family, when do we say hey, everybody was living together and then something happened and now they weren't. They bought into it and now they weren't. Because that's the other part you have to realize. While temptation is there, it needs human. Shout out that movie Sinners one time, man. Family, don't you know you need your permission? You need your permission. We do not understand how powerful as humans we are, man. You need your permission for a lot of this mess. This is why we talked to the sisters one time as brothers, man. Stop falling for these busters out here, man. I don't care how long they be in the gym. What smooth talking they doing. Ain't that mess tired at this point? Don't you want people in this goes the same way with brothers, the same way, man. It's good to chase after that booty, right? And whatever else we staring at. At the end of the day, family, there's content and character, is how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said it. This is what we're looking for. So, if we're not going to discriminate over color, then we would also discriminate not over body size. We would not, come on, somebody. We would not discriminate over mental capacities, because we know everybody thinks and formulates ideas about this life at different levels. You got to start finding a person that's good for you. Knowledge of self. Know thyself. When you know yourself, don't you know what comes right after that? Knowledge of others. When you are studying yourself, don't you know what another one of them things is? Knowledge of God, right? Your origin. Where you came from, how you originated. This is why you'll have no problem staring at your family. You will have no problem looking into your family like, yo, what the hell happened here? Right? And the strength and the grace to go through looking at that trauma, because there's some traumatic mess, man. I tell you what, there's some hellish mess going on in all our families. Come on, somebody. In lessening or greater degrees, but it's there, right? Bible talk about generational curses. That ain't no mess. That's real. That is real, right? So these are just some things to consider. Fire and Ash is a really good movie. Let's get back into that. Right? Fire and Ash is a good movie. You got deception. We understand in the camp family that whether you're talking about the white kid with the braids in his hair and all that, who was able to make it from the outside in, right? Anybody know about that? Okay. Again, there's a great gravity here. We're not saying, family, to be trusting everybody. Okay, we get it. We understand different folks in the camp, the conscious community, very different communities, right? There's all different types of communities that will talk you that, again, when they say that, so coming out of the camp, that the devil is the devil regardless of time and place. I believe this actually comes from the Nation of Islam, right? And they reference to all so-called white people on the planet. Me personally, I do not, because I do not believe that it is all of them. And again, if we're going to have that lens of right and justice, then you must also have it with your own people that you are part of. Because again, as our elders and ancestors taught us, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? But the truth in that statement is also this, not just the distrust of folks. Start finding the people who are your kin, both literally and figuratively. It's got to be both. Can't be one or the other. It's got to be both, right? So there's just some of that there. And you see that in these movies. The youth, shout out the youth one time, man. Family, don't you know the young people in this movie saved the day for the family? You had a council of, I'm going to call them whale-like creatures, right? Sitting there talking about what we won't get involved in, and this ain't our fight, man. Don't you know how tired that mess is from people? Don't you hear it? And normally, right? Because it's an ancient group of creatures. Ain't it coming from the old folks, man? Lord help somebody understand. You talk about blindness, man. You went through the 60s. You think about the elders one time. Shout out the elders one time, right? Again, I like to look at myself as a young one, right? But still, we got to give distinction to the 60, 70, 80, 90-year-old elders in our family, correct? Because they've been through life, right? But we understand, family lives. We've said on this podcast, there's some pee-pee and poo-poo in the pool, family of the elders. Look where they came from. Look at, because we talk this kind of like, the wise wisdom and stuff, but some of this knowledge is coming from great pain, family. Look at history. Just indulge your brother and look at history one time. You look at the 20s and the 30s and the 1910s, the 1900s, the 1890s, the 1880s, the 1870s, and of course the 1860s, family. You look at the mess that our griggity greats and grandparents had to come from. Right? We talk about the boomer. We talk about the silent generation. Family, there's something wrong. You had to come up under high stress. They would lynch brothers at will after church services, family. How you gonna have a picnic? These are things you can find out on. They're in books. See, anything online, family, is found in a book. Okay, it's just a digital retelling of the stuff in books. And the same way they mess around with burning books and hiding information, they do the same thing online. See, this is why I have enough mental capacity to tell folks this. Yes, you should research a whole lot of stuff, find out different books that are going to tell you a whole lot of the same stuff. But guess what? Much of your beginning journey you can find searching it right online. Matter of fact, you can search right online for the book for where to get said book from. Okay? Again, there are deeper levels to this, but everybody know you start off in the 2-foot part of the pool when you swimming. See, we some like non-helping type folks. Talk to me somebody one time. And we it's like, you just got to get to the 12. No. Lead people to the waters of life and lead them there. It's lazy teaching. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a matter of fact, technically, it's not even teaching at all. This is why I have a problem in the church, right? I have a problem when these leaders start talking about discipleship, because again, every disciple is a direct. And when I say direct, family, we talking Padawan to Jedi Master kind of stuff. While we know Anakin Skywalker went sideways, it's like this is where people want to stay. When you watch the TV show, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Or Kenobi. On Disney Plus still, right? Plug in Disney Plus. Like they need me plugging them, right? When you watch that and you see that battle between Vader and Obi-Wan, can't people see the heart cry there from episode 3? Can anybody in the camp see that thing, man? See, again, we dealing with the lack of heart here. That's what this is. While people do too much the one way, we're also not doing enough in the opposite way, and it's showing. Yeah, we know Anakin on his own went to the dark side, family, but don't you know Obi-Wan's short-sightedness and kind of chasing his own types of, wants and needs and not being sacrificial when he should be, led Anakin to that level? There is a thing in the elders that they don't want to admit, family. Where were people standing up when them Nazis was marching through in New York? Where were you at? In the 1920s and 30s, huh? Nazis. We getting mad that they marching in Ohio and Arkansas just as recently as Arkansas this year. Where were the elders standing up against back then? Folks want to talk about what the black woman's mind can't achieve in the areas of business in this life, when we've already made a movie that is an historical account. When you watch Hidden Figures of 3 black women helping masses United States beat out Russia in the Cold War for exploration in space. Be damned what's going on in the hood. Be damned what's going on out in the countryside. Don't give a damn about none of that. No, we trying to beat out another nation for the taxpayer's dollar to get to space. Just to say we were the first ones got to space and make a story around that, family, huh? But the black woman, 3 black women, right, that helped them get there, don't have the brain power. Listen now. This is this type of mess that has come out the mouth of the quote unquote people we put as leaders in the camp. But don't you worry. While we got people out here who can call themselves the Prince of Pan-Africanism. And we understand everybody going to do wrong, family. We understand the leaders going to do wrong. So this is not a full shot, but it's just a wake up to the truth. You're going to sit there and have kids that you fathered, you're not in their lives, and then blame their baby mama. Shout out Happy Kwanzaa one time while we're talking about Pan-Africanism, right? Unity, self-determination, family, right? Literally, family. These are the bedrocks. Since Frank Zanuck got a problem with black culture. And what the black man and woman don't have, don't you know, family has always been the bedrock. You can say any culture, that's fair, but we talking specifically the black ones, since you have an issue, because you're not bringing up Asian culture. Not bringing up white culture, you're making excuses. That's cool, we see it, bro. At the end of the day, the bedrock of black culture, or so-called black culture, because again, that's a distinction that was not there, is family. It look different than yours, as all families would, but there's the same similar energy that flows through, which is family. That love shared, the defense that is shared. Somebody talk to me about going talking trash about somebody's little sister is a big brother, what you won't do. Right? We all take shots on the chin all day long, but there's some of them family we're gonna stand up for. You understand what I'm saying? All right, that goes for me, anybody. Your cousins, somebody come after your cousins, huh? Nieces and nephews. We're talking about family, love and defense, family. That's all what it is. No bloodlust. You go looking through Europe throughout the 1100s and the thousands. Ain't nothing but fighting all over the place. And you take that mess all over the world. You got a word built in your own language that means Slav. You literally talking about enslaving your own people. And then take that mess to Africa and start enslaving Africans, huh? But don't worry, you also went into the islands of the Americas and did the same thing to them. Went into South America and did the same thing to the descendants of the Incans and the Incans, right? Did the same thing to the Mayans. And the descendants of the Mayans, right? And the offshoots thereof. All the way up until Mexico, messing around with the border of Mexico, and then coming back talking about you want to send them back. Create a family. We're just saying how massa operate. This is how this was going on in this movie. Don't you know in Avatar? Check this out. So the whole premise of Avatar is humans coming, invading other land, right? We ain't even gonna act like that's not what it is. Right? Okay. Where we seen that before. Okay. Primarily white, primarily militant. This is why we're saying in the military and the police office, we're not going to knock them. We don't knock them. But the part we do knock, though, real heavy, is the mean boy. This is the way we say it. The mean boy and mean girl mentality inside of it. Family, don't you know the military and the police force, y'all need to stand against that? Hey, while you rock that this blue, black, starred looking flag, don't you know it's time to stand up and talk about the impropriety? That's why I like the TV show Blue Bloods. So shout out to New York Police Department one time. For as much foolishness as y'all doing, attacking and moving people, and it's normally dark brown and tan skin tone folks, it's time, and especially our own brothers and sisters now in the police force more than ever before. We understand that, right? Especially that's a good excuse that mass is going to use. Be like, hey, see, racism's not that bad. Y'all in the police force. Yeah, look. Our native brothers and sisters got their own. Unfortunately, they teamed up with the cavalry back then, but it's not like we have our own police force. We have to team up with yours. Just saying. However, there's certain mentality you can't accept. Maybe one of these brothers that keep or our Latin brothers and sisters that keep teaming up. We hope there's no Asians in ICE, right? But if they're, because there's enough human trafficking that goes, never mind. At the end of the day, family, you hope one of them turn into like a Harriet Tubman, type of Sojourner Truth kind of, bring these people somewhere that's safe. Hopefully that goes on. Because again, history repeats itself. So we hope that goes on. You understand what I'm saying? We're just making it known. There's nothing new under the sun. The stage has already been set. The players are already playing, family. Folks want to get mad that we live in a simulation. Again, the part that is simulated is the one that massa gives you, not life itself. And I don't know if y'all can hear Snoopy in the background with this new setup I got. But if so, we're just going to let it play for a second. Avatar Fire and Ash, man. It's, there's supposed to be more, of course. We live in a sequel society now. It's unending instead of the never ending. They took Never Ending Story as a movie, family, and they've made it like through the roof. They put it through the roof now. So everything got a sequel now, right? You just can't let the story die. Unless you're talking like a biopic, I guess, or, one of these like documentary type of things, and you can just let that come to an end. Sometimes things have to come to an end, family. That's just the nature of things. And it's okay, right? We shed our tears, we get frustrated, and we go on from there. But yeah, this movie was good. The movie was good. It was cool to see female solidarity between the sea people, I'll just say it that way, right? The sea avatar people and the air, I believe they're the air avatar people, like the forest people, if I'm not mistaken. They're the original avatar folks. And it's just good to see, probably forest people, right? It's just good to see how two women could come together, right? Because you have Jake Sully's wife. I forget her name, so my apologies, family. Helping the other tribal wife who is pregnant, right? Who's been injured, mortally, fatally injured, right? Give birth to her daughter, I believe, right? And life continues on. It's the same kind of thing. Like we do this. It was unfortunate what happened in China, right? All those years ago with this one girl birth rule. Family, you need both. You want life to continue, you need both. You need man and woman. I don't know. We had just spoken on the law of gender, the last episode, family. Again, we discredit. We sit in the seat of the scornful and we discredit too much. Much to masses design, to be honest. And it's dangerous. You understand? It's dangerous activity. You need the women. This ain't the time to X them off, family, right? We could easily go to a story. It was cool me hearing this, and I didn't even think of it this way, but it's what it is, and I'm pretty sure I probably heard it in church before. But you see Lazarus die, right? So much so that the Jews, since everybody want to put you don't want to put the Jew like in this untouchable status, family. Again, all have sinned means all have sinned. Means all will sin. Means all are sinning, family. Come on, somebody, right? We get a little too again, the way it is said in charismatic circles is that we're too heavenly minded to be any earthly good. And that's what you're seeing. We're not going to discredit that statement. That's exactly what you're seeing. People like just recently I heard another African preacher, somebody was talking about some flood coming just recently this December or something like that. What are we talking about? Huh? Can we stop, please? Can we get we can keep doing the rapture dance or whatever, apocalyptic thing, family. It's time to band together. When you look at history, okay, let's just keep it 100, right? Because again, while these slaves is being killed, slaughtered, raped, burned, tortured, hung, all this mess, body limbs being chopped off, all the stuff that we read about in history, right? Did you see any savior come out of this? No, this is not discrediting the rapture coming, family. What we're telling you is that we are some like weird kind of get out of jail free card kind of folks, family. This game of Monopoly, you creating your own get out of jail free card. And you do it by banding together with each other. Right? We can keep looking up to the sky for stuff, but it ain't that manna that produced itself to the Israelites back in the desert while they were traveling unnecessarily because they did not want to listen to the rules of the game. At the end of the day, family, that manna coming is going to be us making it. Shout out our native brothers and sisters for creating fry bread one time. At some point, family, that we're talking this Trail of Tears and you watching a modern day one today. Let's stop playing games. You watching a modern day Trail of Tears and look at the reaction from people. Look at it. How sick, right? Who's the illegal immigrant? Who is illegal? See, there's a disingenuous part to people that unfoot, and it's the same kind of thing that you saw in Avatar: Fire and Ash. Just like, we gonna burn it all to the ground. It's all for us. Again, the Avatar, Avatars fighting avatars now. There's something with black folks, family. I do not get down with. I don't get down with. We can talk about the so-called white man all we want to. So-called white women all we want to. We see these videos with Karens and Kens. I like calling them Karens and Kens, right? There's no knock on Ken from Barbie, but we're just saying what it is. Okay? All the time we can see these videos. Don't you know? You see the same stuff. We go up in our own, and we just on the come up. We ain't even come close yet. Black folks, West Indian people, all these different folks, you find these videos, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere, where they show you video clips and all this stuff. We acting fools in these stores. What are we doing? They didn't let you have businesses back in the day. Now we finally trying to get a few. You gonna act foolish in them? We ain't got no sense, family. Come on, somebody. Listen, we can do this. Massa corrupted us, but when do we now take our responsibility? And that's the part that's missing. Can't folks see that? I must repeat. I understand the part of the corruption of Massa, and we will talk about it all day. We need to, as a reference point, to set foundation for what has happened, so that, again, this is what it comes back to, so that we can rise above. Maya Angelou told us all the things that happened. I'm just paraphrasing. Still, I rise. Right? So we, family, again, one of the universal laws is action. When do we listen? We can speak the truth all day long, right? You can deal in vibration. We can deal in, again, talking about manifestation. We can deal in vibration. We can deal in attraction, all that. At some point, we must do something toward what we want. And the more impactful thing that you see in the Bible, it will tell you, brothers and sisters, where 2 or 3. See, what are we missing? And which 2 or 3 are we looking for? You're looking for carbon copies of yourself. You better keep on looking. There ain't no, you're one of one. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am. If you want any level of power in your life, family, we're gonna have to gather together. Anyway. Anyway, man, we can keep on doing it the way we're doing it. It just doesn't work. Right? We're trying to make something that don't work. Hey, you go out there, you see it. No. Not if I go out there and I see a thing, I do it. Family, the point is for us to band together. Don't you know? We keep talking about Donald Trump. Dude is part of a whole group. Right? This ain't conspiracy. We're talking at, look, you see pictures with like the Clintons, hangs out with the Bushes, and then it's a group, family. So why wouldn't we have a group the other way? Don't you see what the U.S. government, right, or whatever offshoots of it, FBI, however you want to say it, right? Can't you see how much they are willing to go to keep? Look at what happened to the Black Panther Party, family. Look at that. They orchestrated that mess using people who were sideways as, again, fool-headed Negroes. Bought Negroes. You better be careful of the house and bought Negro in the plantation today, family. We letting you know for real. These folks have sold their soul for something Massa will not give them, because it's for them, not you. And that's why when we talk about the areas of people activity as we come to the close right now, right? Because I've been talking for a minute. As we see these kinds of things, like, listen, labor, that's on them, family. You can bet your bottom dollar left ass cheek and right ass cheek, right? That you will consistently be working for low wages while Massa makes maximum wages. And you telling me we don't have to band together to get that going? Of course we do. Of course we do. Education. This is, you just what? Again, no matter, don't you know they stopped the Native brothers and sisters from learning themselves and their culture, and they gave them that European mess? That's what they did. We're not going to act like 200 years passed, right, from 1619, and then this quote unquote formation or independence that we're going to celebrate here in a bunch of months when it get warmer in July. Well, again, we're talking the United States formation because America was already here. Huh? This is why we like saying, if y'all gonna talk this America talk, say Murica. You know, like you see on the back of like some like country backwood type of thing, right? And you know, Murica. Yeah. Say that, because America's already been here. Of course, it's been named by Mr. Vespucci, but the landmass that's called America been here. The people groups were already on here. And then everybody else, again, like we like to say, or as we've heard it in certain circles, the Johnny come latelys didn't came by talking about what's theirs. Nope, it's not. Which is why when you have a conversation about migration and immigration, it's already pseudo. Because again, you're looking at the descendants and the friends thereof's descendants who now live here. Talking about somebody else need to go back. This is why dude is messing with birthright citizenship. This is why this is, again, family. So education, because that's part of the education thing we were just saying. Again, we could get into sex or gender. That's another one that Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. broke down. That one is like that. And not in all of the topics that we keep harping on, because those things aren't the wrong. How we're using it are the wrong. And not to not use it. I'm just saying, again, to each their own, right? There is a thing where we can use all of this responsibly. That's the issue. I got to give a shout out to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I've just started reading the book, How to Eat to Live, right? I know our Muslim brothers and sisters know about that. And while all of it I do not hold to, there's a whole lot of it there, family. You have to ask yourself the question, why are you being told to eat 3 meals a day? Now, we have already talked about this on this podcast, and some of that is where I got that information from. Not all of it. Some other places where I've been listening to and reading on and all that kind of thing. Why? When you already look at Thanksgiving and look how they fatten up the turkey in order to kill it, family. Don't you see that's what that is? Look at the obesity rate in this country. We're some big ass people, family. Me included. On this weight journey that I'm on, family, we're just saying it starts in the mind first before you lift any weights. Because you won't be able to go all the way through it if it doesn't start in your mind, family. Why we eat so much. Healthcare was the 10th one added on by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Family, this is a game designed for the people. Again, the way we said it on the podcast, the pirate came, stole the booty, and they're trying to keep it. This is how it would look, correct? That's where we're gonna stop. We've been in on good 40, 50 minutes. It's been a minute since I talked to y'all on the Spotify group, and you just gonna keep it on it, man. Right? We got this new equipment again. Shout out to the fam for putting your boy on, man. Right? And again, family, friends of the family, just like with Massa, right? We got to be willing to put each other on. That's how it works. Right. So again, we climbing ever higher. And we're going to keep on going. Right, family. And again, thank you for walking this road with your boy today. I love y'all. Right. God bless y'all. I mean, no harm to nobody, man. That is living in righteousness. We don't mean harm to people. We know they put a target on your back for folks that are like that. So anybody in the camp like that, you hold your head high, learn how to protect and defend yourself. band and stay together. In 2026, family, learn to come together. Right? Don't y'all be out here exercising alone. Don't y'all be out here shopping alone. Family, be aware of your surroundings. This is how it's going to be for a little bit. Because, it's always like that. But there's times of lows and highs with these things. Right? For me personally, I believe we got to be in high alert. We got to be in high alert. Right? Those who love, those who believe in different forms of life where we can live and love each other, it's time to stand up, family. It's that time, because Massa is making his move. That's for real. And when we say he, again, we live in a patriarchal society, so many times you're going to hear me use he more than they and she, because that is what it is. It's built for men. That does not mean that's how life is made and lived. We just saying how this mess is made over here, right? That's how they made this mess, okay? And we as people can live differently, right? Hence a different view. So, family, thank you for walking this road with me today. I love y'all. God bless y'all, right? And until next time, and as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.